that his intention is to return to Lebanon in the next 2 days. Harari has been reported to have left Saudi Arabia several times in the last 10 days, but always ends up having never left Riyadh. The European Union on Wednesday reiterated that it's important for Harari to be allowed to leave, and the Saudis ought not meddle in Lebanon's domestic affairs. That's not exactly Saudi Arabia's position. They've been talking up a declaration of war by Lebanon and conceded with Harari's resignation from his premiership, a resignation that, according to media reports, the Saudis wrote for him. Harari had claimed he met with a top Iranian official before he left for Saudi Arabia, claiming a tense meeting in which he demanded Iran stop interfering. Iran confirmed the meeting but said Harari lied about the contents, claiming Harari had offered to mediate Saudi-Iranian tensions and that the meeting went well. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numeri supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. UPI reports a federal judge ruled Wednesday that the federal government cannot withhold law enforcement grants from the city of Philadelphia due to its status as a sanctuary city. U.S. District Judge Michael Belson issued a 128-page ruling stating a $1.5 million Department of Justice law enforcement grant cannot be withheld from Philadelphia because the city refuses to fully cooperate with federal agents to identify people who immigrated without appropriate documents. The city filed suit against Attorney General Jeff Sessions in August regarding the grant, which accounts for a portion of the city's $4.4 billion budget. Belson ruled that withholding the grant would cause irreparable harm as part of the funds are used by first responders who provide life-saving naloxone to victims of opioid overdose. Belson stated that Philadelphia should be able to deal with local issues as it sees best, finding the city did comply with a federal law banning municipalities from restricting contact with ICE. Belson wrote, in this case, given Philadelphia's unique approach to meshing the legitimate needs of the federal government to remote criminal aliens with the city's promotion of health and safety, there is no conflict of any significance. The city of Philadelphia rejects the title of sanctuary city, which is defined as a city that limits its cooperation with federal authorities who enforce immigration law, stating immigrants who commit crimes are arrested and charged. DOJ spokesman Devin O'Malley said officials were reviewing the ruling and determining next steps, pointing out Philadelphia's high murder rate as an example of sanctuary policies undermining law enforcement. Police Commissioner Richard Ross had previously testified most people who commit crimes in the city are natural-born Philadelphians, and Belson said the government had not been able to prove a link between the city's policies and crime. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks, they're Bitcoin preferred, and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 3 streets in Hollywood, Florida, named for Confederate generals, were changed to Freedom, Hope, and Liberty after a vote by the city's commission on Wednesday. The commission voted unanimously to change the names from Forrest, Hood, and Lee, named for the leaders of the Confederate Army, Robert E. Lee, and fellow generals Nathan Bedford Forrest and John Bell Hood. Officials did not say when the street signs would be switched. The planned change highlights a persistent debate in the U.S. South over the display of Confederate battle flags and other symbols of the rebel side. Several cities, including New Orleans, Dallas, St. Louis, and Lexington, Kentucky, have recently removed or relocated statues and memorials. In Hollywood, about 20 miles north of Miami, the issue led to 3 protests, 2 in support of the street name changes and 1 against. There were several heated city commission meetings, the most recent in late August when the city voted that the streets would be renamed. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A prison reform group issued a disturbing new study this week calling conditions in women's correctional facilities deplorably unsexy. The report contends that women's prisons are bleak, dangerous environments with shockingly few soapy showers and erotically charged pillow fights. According to the Prison Justice Initiative, quote, "It's a shame that in today's society we still have jails that don't encourage kittenish girl-on-girl exploration. Prison shouldn't be a hotbed of gang violence and drugs. It should be a steamy Shangri-La where caged nymphets discover the sexuality away from the the leering eyes of male society. The investigation revealed living conditions that many are calling cruel and degrading, but not in a fun or kinky way. The study's author argues that incarceration should be about more than just punishment.
The purpose of prison isn't just to lock people in a box and forget about them. It's to provide opportunities for naughty girls to play nice with each other.
Next up, a team of jock scientists have reportedly thrown the cure for asthma onto the roof of the lab. We'll talk to the nerds struggling to retrieve it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Welcome to Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us right here on the radio waves. If you want, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM, so feel free to reach out to us that way. And the us in the studio tonight includes me, Ian. We also have with us someone who's completely not paying attention.
What's up, guys?
Your name's Heather.
My name is Heather.
Hi, Heather.
And
Everyone knows me. I'm all the talk, apparently.
There we go. And my name's Chris.
All right, so here we are. We'll talk to you about anything as long as Heather can get her nose out of her cell phone.
I was actually looking at the Free Talk Live show prep to see what we were about to dive into today. So
it's an okay excuse, as long as you weren't on Facebook.
No, I was on
Okay.
Free Talk Live show prep, and Will Coley said...
So that means you're prepared to start the show right now with what we're going to talk about, which is actually the story that you and I actually both selected independently of one another. It's about this game called Cards Against Humanity. Many have probably played this. It's pretty popular, but for those out in our audience who have not, do one of the two of you want to take a crack at explaining it?
I've only played it a couple times, but basically...
I played it a few.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the cards they're designed to be funny, humorous, and one person will play one card, and it is sort of the statement like...
I'll give you an example.
Go, please, if you know one off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head.
Blank is going to be used as the new U.S. currency.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And
then
then
I would
everybody
choose
will have
one of
like,
my cards.
Yeah, you'll have 7 white cards, I believe it is.
Each player
and each
has
one,
these
each
cards.
player has 7 white cards that on it either will have like the name of a celebrity or it'll have like a really inappropriate
outrageous.
statement,
Right.
like something totally crazy. It's like dark humor,
Very much.
very dark humor. Some of them like violent, sexual, you name it. It's
And then
bad.
the darker humor can come in when you combine these cards with what is being said there.
Exactly.
You know, so they provide you with the seed. Sort of like, it's almost like a game of Mad Libs where you're trying to basically pick the person who has chosen the word. So the person who's
Right.
sort of the it, if you will, the guesser, they are being fed with all these potential answers to this question.
And
or
you
this
don't know whose
fill in the
card
blank.
is whose. So
Right.
you have to, whoever picked the black card, which is the one that has the blank as the new U.S. currency, they're trying to pick their favorite white card that everybody at the table puts down. And you have to read it out loud. And half the time it's so hilarious that people can't breathe. Like my mom almost fell over and passed out one time because she couldn't read what was on the card.
Right, because
it was
you
so
can come up with
bad.
stuff so offensive. And it's really cool. It's a really popular game. They've
Well, and
done
the goal is that the person who's it has to pick like the one that is their preference of all of the different players' cards, and the person whose preference or the person whose suggestion was picked by the it person, they're the ones who get that point,
Right.
or the points, or however many points there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they collect those cards, and then at the end of the game, the person who has the most cards
Yeah, the most black
is the
ones.
winner of the game, and that basically means that you and that other person kind of were on the same level, or you kind of matched. You knew what that other person would be likely to pick. Is sort of the idea, rather than just randomly winning.
You can, because if
know
you're
the
playing
person
with
well.
7 people, we've played with like 7 people before, so everyone's got their own personality, which
Right.
ties into the types of cards they're going to find most funniest. So when you
Correct.
pick your white card to play down, you're obviously going to pick a card that's going to appeal, that you think is going to appeal more to that person
Exactly.
that's picking the winner.
So if you know the person, you have a slight advantage at this game, but not always.
Right. And a couple things about the game. They've come up with different versions.
Right.
They're
Custom. You can do custom versions.
Yeah, and the other thing that I really, really like about this, and you just don't see anywhere, not often enough, is this game's free. You can go into a store, and if
Really?
they sell it, you can buy it. But you can also download it online. It's released under Creative Commons.
Sure, if you want to print it out on some crappy printer paper.
Absolutely, right. But I still think it's kind of cool that somebody has an idea that's made boatloads of money.
That's a good point.
And
you want to
just
hear
said,
what
you know
Cards Against
We'll release
Humanity did? I think it was last year or the year before on Black Friday. They sold a box of. Wait, I forget if I can say this on the radio. SHIT.
Nope, you definitely can't.
Okay,
I don't even know if you.
Can I
know
spell
we can
it?
spell that.
I don't even know if you can spell
Okay,
it.
BS. Can I say that?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
sold a box of BS. I can't remember what price. If it was like $5, something like that. I don't know. And that's all it said. It was just a box of BS. So everyone ordered this, right? Thinking they were going to get like specialty cards or something released for the game.
Yeah,
so they're
right.
like,
And
millions of people ordered it, and they ended up getting mailed a box of cow turd.
Cow dung. Wow.
And it was just
Hey.
to prove that on and they only did it on Black Friday. So you had to go there
Yeah.
and buy this on Black Friday. And it was to kind of like make a mockery of all the people that, take Thanksgiving, the holiday, for granted and turn it into a shopping thing. And
That's a nasty prank to pull on your fans because it was likely going to be their fans who ordered something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
well, there was like YouTube videos of these people that got it in the mail. And so it
God.
came in a little tiny black box
Vacuum
with a
sealed.
poop emoji on it. And so this dude's like opening it up, and
asked
he's
for
like, and he starts cracking open the dry,
God.
dry stuff, looking for a card.
Oh my God! Seriously? Wow.
Yeah, but they've got tons of like different packs. You can get a 90s nostalgia pack, a college pack,
There's a
weed
libertarian pack.
Libertarians
Really?
against
Somebody creative. I think he was on the Freedom Fiends for a time. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah.
But he went through and put in like all kinds of libertarian stuff. So like Adam Kokesh is in it. Chris Cantwell. I'm in
geez.
there. It's
classic.
ridiculous.
You're in a card?
I'm in one of these card games. Yeah. Because
man.
apparently, and I think that.
Is he trying to insinuate you guys are against humanity?
No, it's just funny
Just
things.
kidding.
So I think that this company will actually custom print your cards too, because I've seen these like Libertarians Against Humanity cards, and they look professionally done.
Huh.
So I suspect that means that you can actually hire them to do it, or at least there's some company out there
They'll
that
do
is
them for you.
that
That's
is doing
interesting.
that. So very, very cool stuff. Anyway, Cards Against Humanity, according to the BBC. Did you want me to share it, or did you want to?
Oh, you want me to read it?
Heather, it's up to you.
No, we both brought it in.
We
so
did
it's
both
up to
bring it
me.
in.
Okay, so the one from the BBC, is that what you got pulled up?
Yeah, I had another one, but I think BBC is probably a better source than boardpanda.com. So if you have it handy.
Yeah, I got it right up here. It says board and card games can be fun, challenging, and keep family and friends occupied, but one rather risky game has recently embarked on a more
Risky or risque?
Risque. Is that what that is?
Okay.
Risque.
There you go.
I haven't used that word in a while. Game has recently embarked on a more politically strategic challenge. Cards Against Humanity, a party game for horrible people, according to its creators, has been mentioned in over 14,000 tweets at time of writing after revealing it had purchased a plot of land on the U.S. border with Mexico. The company is known for self-aware stunts, such as launching a pink edition of the game for women and raising $95,000 to dig a hole for no reason. I don't remember that one, do
I
you?
love those guys.
I think I heard about that one.
Okay, well, anyway. So according to the company's website, which uses language some may find offensive, the aim is to make it as time-consuming and expensive as possible to build U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed border wall. The Chicago-based company claims it will save America, having asked for $15 in exchange for 6 America-saving surprises.
I don't know what that means.
I know.
America Saving Surprises. Is this what they did on their fundraiser on their website? They raised the
guessing.
money to buy this land by selling these surprises? That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Because they've done these fundraisers before. She mentioned some of the other ones. So this
Correct.
must be funded by their fans, basically.
I imagine.
Not that the company's necessarily dug into their profits here, but they had this idea. They said, all right, let's see if our fans support it. And they put forward these secretive prizes in order to entice people to contribute. Very smart.
even if Cards Against Humanity, doesn't even care whether Trump builds the wall or not, this is kind of a good marketing tactic on their
course it
part.
is.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're getting all the publicity for this now when you think
Yes,
about it.
brilliant.
So
It's brilliant.
They could have voted for Trump for all we know and are just
Yep.
doing this to promote the brand.
And
but
what do they care if it pisses off a bunch of Trump supporters?
Right.
I mean, who cares?
Right.
All they care about is the publicity they're going to get from this, and it's going to result in more sales. That's what matters. And it didn't cost them anything except for whatever the product cost of these secretive things that they're giving away.
So it says, according to the website, there are no more slots remaining to sign up for the surprises.
Okay.
But those who have paid will get an illustrated map of the land, a certificate of our promise to fight the wall, some new cards, and a few other surprises.
And it's already sold out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, so they did a fundraiser and you had to buy in while you could and pledge a certain amount of money, but you didn't know what it was for.
Let's get into it here, talk a little bit more about this, because, is this really going to stop this wall? Or is eminent domain just going to come in here and end this real fast? I mean, maybe they can fight it somehow. 855-450 free like freedom. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
The young lady from the rescue delivered happy, and I panicked. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, and I thought, what did I get us into? The cause of his issue was poor nutrition. It was neglect. The other owners didn't care enough about him to give him the nutrition he needed. But I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite, DINOVITE.com. I ordered the first 90-day supply, and within a couple weeks, his skin started clearing up. He didn't smell. He had more energy. He just had a glow and a bounce about him. We've been using Dinovite for the last year, and Happy the rescue dog is Happy the healthy dog. I tell all my friends who have rescues to give their dog the chance at a new start with Dinovite. It's going to pay off for you and your dog for years to come.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's
Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733, and we've got Skype, so Skype on in here. Skype username LRN.FM. By the way, Blink Home Security, great Wi-Fi security system where you don't have to deal with any of the nonsense of actually installing one of those multicam DVR systems. I've been involved in that before, and it's a hassle.
Yes,
it is. You got
is.
to drill holes, you got to run Cat5 cables or whatever other cables they have, and then you got to set up some obtuse Chinese brand DVR with all kind of English menus that make no sense half the time. You don't have to deal with any of that with blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's /FTL like Free Talk Live. Super fast setup. All you need is a Wi-Fi enabled device like your tablet or smartphone, and you just get these things going. They're battery operated, and then there's like the little hub, which is the only thing that actually plugs into a wall outlet. That's it. It's super easy to do. Go and get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys charge for 1 by going to blinkprotect.com/FTL. You need more or fewer, you can do that too. blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. We're talking about Cards Against Humanity. It is making the news again, this time for raising money from their fans on their website. They are now sold out of this, Heather, but can you briefly recap what they did? They're
basically, they had done an advertisement on their website, and it just says the Chicago-based company claims it will, in quotes, save America, having asked for $15 in exchange for 6, in quotes, America-saving surprises.
Which would be the bonus that they were trying to tantalize their fans with, so they could.
So it's like a tempting little offer. You don't know what you remember that old candy, a Wonder Ball. Remember that little thing? It had candy inside, and you didn't know what was inside. It was a chocolate ball, and it had different types of candy inside, but you didn't know what it was until after you bought it. So it was always a surprise.
I know what you're talking about. Also, the website Woot. I don't know if you remember that.
WOOT?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the word, but I didn't know there was a website.
They got bought up by Amazon. They always had a deal of the day, but sometimes they would have like a Woot off. And basically it was $5, and I got a Bandolier of Carrots t-shirt one time, but other people had got like 55-inch TVs. They did all kinds of crazy stuff like that. It was really
nice.
Kind of a cool website back
So they
in the day.
raised this money to save America. And Chris, you have their pitch. This is from their site. Again, it's too late if you want to get those 6 special things. Sorry, you're going to have to look for them on eBay.
Yeah. Not really the pitch, but they just wanted, they have a fact here, frequently asked questions. So what is this? This is our holiday promotion, Cards Against Humanity Saves America. Well, you pay us $15 right now, and we'll send you 6 surprises in December. Next question, what are the 6 surprises? Their answer, the nature of a surprise is that it surprises you when you receive it.
Right.
What are you saving America from? Injustice, lies, racism, the whole enchilada. You said you weren't going to do one of these complicated holiday promotions again. We're liars, just like our president.
Just like all presidents.
Right. I don't like that you're getting political. Why don't you just stick to card games? Why don't you stick to seeing how many Hot Wheel cars you can fit in your blank?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't live in the U.S. or Canada. Can I still sign up? Sure, but this is really for Americans. So that it just kind of goes on. That's and cute. On. They kind of warn you that these are likely to be offensive to many people. The last question is Cards Against Humanity being politically correct now? Their answer, we're just being regular correct.
So their goal is to buy. Now, did they actually buy it already, or is the news that they've made the purchase, or is it that they're going to make a purchase?
Heather, I think they've already made the purchase. Let me get into the article. It says, it says, according to the website, there are no more slots remaining to sign up for the surprises, but those who have paid will get an illustrated map of the land, a certificate of our promise to fight the wall, some new cards, and a few other surprises. It has enlisted the help of a law firm specializing in eminent domain, the power of the federal government to acquire private land at a market price.
I wonder if it's IJ, the Institute for Justice, because they were the folks who defended the Kilo 7 in the New London case like a decade ago now.
Definitely have some experience.
Right, when the federal government took land from, or not federal government, local government, New London, Connecticut government, took land from a group of folks who really owned it for generations and generations, and just snatched it from them, and then gave it to private development.
Yeah, I can't remember what they were. Was it a shopping mall or
no? It was office
space.
Pfizer was going to put a bunch of offices in there, and they did, and then they promptly removed them after a few years, and now the place is like a ghost town.
The pitch was that this is worthy of eminent domain because it benefits the
tax base.
The pitch
was that the town, or the city in this case, would get more tax dollars from commercial real estate than it would have from those houses that had been there for generations.
Well, thank God we've got government here to make these decisions for us. And it all sounds really complicated if I had to decide these things.
And the Kelo case was the federal government, the Supreme Court, deciding, yep, you can do that, New London. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so it says Cards Against Humanity founder Max Temkin is pretty impressed with all the activity on social media and has been kept busy carrying out interviews. He also tweeted 150,000 subscriptions to the game were sold within 9 hours, which would earn the company $2.25 million.
Wow.
Yeah, nice chunk. So, however, not everyone has been impressed with the game's latest stunt.
Of course not.
Jennifer Primich posted on Facebook, Cards Against Humanity was ruining fun, and it should go back to making offensive, fun games for everyone. Meanwhile, although the response on Reddit was largely supportive, several posters pointed out that those who would ultimately pay would be the U.S. taxpayers who fund the government's lawyers. Oh, look at that.
Well, so what? I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry when those things happen, when some government ends up having to shell out a bunch of taxpayer dollars because they're trampling over people's rights.
Right.
I mean, I understand the argument. It's like, oh, this is going to cost us more. Like when the Robin Hooders here defeated the city of Keene over their lawsuit against us for filling people's parking meters. We took them all the way to the Supreme Court. Our attorney was pro bono the entire time. Their attorneys were over probably $100,000. We have yet to actually get the final numbers on that. Ultimately, for them to lose and lose on free speech grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether they're likely to lose in this case or not is another question, because eminent domain has a long history of being upheld left and right.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say I have any particular real hope that they're going to be successful here, but if they're a bump in the road, then I think that's what people would be appreciative of.
I would expect the Supreme Court to act as a neutral party, as a member of the federal government against another part of the federal government. I'm being facetious.
Yeah.
That's the insanity of this is you're asking one part of the federal government to decide if it's okay if the other part of the federal government can do something. It's not impartial.
No.
And they're always going to see things through the light of big government.
Every now and then they'll make the right decision, just often enough to make you think that they, that they're objective in some way.
I mean, how do you know? I mean, they all have their own opinions, though. You know what I mean?
Who's
like,
they? The
like
judges?
people, anybody in government, like people in general.
Sure, and that's all that law is. It's just opinions backed by a gun.
Exactly. So when you say someone's trampling on someone's rights, that also means there's a group of people that don't think those people have rights.
Well,
so it's a matter
obviously
of
they
opinion.
don't think those people have rights. More coming up here in moments, and I may be morphing soon into Darryl W. Perry. 855, 450 free. Stay tuned on the webcam for that one at cam.freetalklive.com.
Actual testimonials from real Numana customers.
I've tried all kinds of food storage, and Numana is by far the best.
I'm a single mom with 2 teenage boys and a full-time job. I don't always have time to cook a 4-course meal. That's where Numana has been such a blessing. I can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters most, like helping with homework.
Find out for yourself. Order online at thepowermall.com. That's thepowermall.com. Numana is
food stores I love to eat. Yum!
Thepowermall.com.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
Free Talk Live.
Who is playing dress up as a guess?
Superhero.
Ninja. Yeah.
A border ninja.
See, that would be the problem. Somebody else would dress up like a pirate, and then there would be a war.
Yeah. Just the pirates duking it out.
Wait, well, now what do the pirates have against ninjas?
Ninjas and pirates are like matter and antimatter. They can't be together.
Okay.
I have a feeling the ninjas would just whoop it up on the pirates.
Are you kidding? Pirates. Pirates, man.
Oh, the pirates do have cannons. They have the long-range attack ability, but once you get in close...
It's hard to be tougher than a pirate, though.
The pirates are certainly tough, but the agility I don't think is there.
Lose
a
hand, lose a leg, you can still get 200 people to be afraid of you as you stomp around with half of your, an eye patch, one hand, one leg. You stomp around half a person, and you're still commanding 200 people.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Cards Against Humanity is going to save America. Not the entire world, just America. We'll get back into the story. But maybe you want to help save, well, not actually save, but help promote Free Talk Live. Which, in a sense, I guess is kind of saving
you might save it.
Freedom, right?
Sure.
Well, join the AMP program. AMP is advertise, market, and promote. And your $5 per month, thrown together with other people's $5 per month, allows us to advertise, market, and promote the show to program directors of radio stations across the country, because they're the people that make the decisions to put the show on more radio stations. We're already on close to 170 coast to coast. We could be on more. So go to amp.freetalklive.com. That's AMP, amp.freetalklive.com. There are perks that you get. There's the AMP-only podcast. There's an AMP-only Facebook group. Chris, Heather, you're both in there, as am I. Most of the other hosts, I believe, and
that's worth the money alone.
Yeah, right. We're we're a valued commodity.
I would say it is a active group.
Yeah, plus, if it has been lately.
If you join the Shire forums, you can get an Amplifiers badge for your profile amp.freetalklive.com.
All the privileges of if you get triggered by something one of us say, you can go and like write about it online and like post stuff and, you know, be a little snowflake.
Oh, no, that's not fair. Sometimes people have legitimate disagreements.
Speaking of snowflakes, it sometimes snows in America, and Cards Against Humanity wants to save us. Not from the snow, but from the sort of right-leaning snowflakes, I guess. Story from, where is this? The BBC. And Chris, I heard you read some of the FAQs off of the Cards Against Humanity website. You missed my favorite one, where it was the question of, I would like to cancel my order. And their response was, we would like to cancel the last election.
But neither of us is going to get what we want.
It's funny because if you get the game, I got it. My mom got it for me for Christmas like a couple years ago. And it says, if you have any complaints with this game, please send all complaints to, and then it lists Washington, D.C.'s address or whatever, like the capital.
1700 Pennsylvania.
1600 Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
White House. Nice.
So
White House, that's what I meant.
I'm curious. I saw something on social media over the last couple of days. Apparently, a bunch of people are upset at Keurig for something, and they're making videos of themselves smashing Keurigs. What? Have people started making videos of themselves destroying their Cards Against Humanity game because they're upset that Cards Against Humanity wants to prevent the border wall?
I haven't seen that or heard anything about it, but I'm sure somebody in America is up in arms over it.
So let's jump back into the article here.
So there's only a little bit left here, okay, but it says this is not the first time the company has acquired land. In 2014, an idea to buy an island off Maine came from a previous joke about how $70,000 profit from a holiday promotion could be spent. The team then, again using language some people may find offensive, blogged on social networking website Tumblr about how they established Hawaii 2 and realized the problems in dividing the land among thousands of people. Courting controversy in 2016, Cards Against Humanity produced a party game called Secret Hitler, which models the rise of fascism in a democracy. Temkin tweeted a video clip of covering letters and packages of the game about to be sent to every U.S. senator in February 2017, which was liked 8,000 times. While the idea was to satirize the Trump administration, some people on Twitter replied they felt alienated by the political stunt.
Now, I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago where Cards Against Humanity, as I think part of their Black Friday promotion, said we're just paying to dig a big hole?
Yeah,
and they had a
webcam.
That.
We talked about that, but I wasn't sure when it occurred.
Yeah, and I think I threw like $5 in, and it added in like 5 more minutes of digging. But they had this sort of calculation to where after a certain amount of time, your money bought less time of digging.
Right.
So like the first couple hours, it was $1 bought like an hour of digging, and then it was $1 bought like half an hour, and then it went down. But the money was still going up. It was interesting.
How deep did the hole get?
I don't remember, but I watched a bunch of digging of the hole to where they had this big, the digger thing.
Excavator. Yeah, they raised $95,000 to dig that hole for no reason.
No, the reason was they were live streaming it, and they were just curious how big of a hole they could dig and how much money people would throw. Because, again, they've done these weird things to where there was the 1 year we're selling nothing. They sold nothing.
It's really not even that weird anymore if you've seen like some of the YouTube channels that are out there. I mean, there's people do the weirdest things.
And
like
they've been really successful
at YouTube videos just like doing weird things like filling up bathtubs full of slime and like mushing their fingers in it. That's like the whole video. Like that's it. How? Like I don't know. Like somehow, but it'll have like thousands of views. I know this because my daughters put them on. They're weird. Like sometimes there'll be like these little kids that make art out of pancake batter. They like color it and like.
That's cool.
Okay, that's at least interesting. But
and
here's some goo. Like, are you doing
goo
something
is like a
with
big
the
thing.
goo?
The slime. It'll be like people just taking random slime and then putting like a ton of glitter in it, and then it zooms in on the fingers, mushing the slime. That's all it is.
Now, like, if you're talking about like the super slow-mo guys to where they make like non-Newtonian liquids sort of stuff and run across it, that's interesting. But just, I'm putting goo in my bathtub. That's rather strange.
But it's interesting that the internet has provided this to us. That now, because bandwidth has gotten so cheap and computing power has gotten so cheap and phones with cameras are so prevalent, anybody can really do anything. And you can laugh at all this stuff. But again, stupid pictures, videos of slime, how many views? You said thousands of views?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably mostly like little kids and stuff watching it.
It's all right.
Weird.
They get to see ads while they wait for that video to load.
Or you could
monetize
pay like $10 a month and then not see the ads. And I wonder how many kids have accidentally signed their parents up for that YouTube Red thing.
Oh, I can imagine.
Would you like to skip the ads? And they're like, yes, please. And mommy and daddy have saved the credit card number in the browser because, easy checkout. And they're just, click through. Very interesting. So anything more on this Cards Against Humanity thing?
Not really. If you guys ever want to play, I don't mind bringing it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Not safe for radio.
Not at all.
Now, I have seen some YouTube videos of different people playing Cards Against Humanity. And, it's not just regular people. It's YouTube celebrities playing Cards Against Humanity with one another. And it's very interesting.
Interesting. I think I'd rather play. I think this is it's sort of like that, now all we do is watch sports. Nobody actually participates anymore.
I think it'd be funny.
That's how I think of Cards Against Humanity.
I bet you could get it to go viral if you videotape a bunch of grandmas sitting around at a table playing it.
I'm sure it's been done. But you're right.
There's one viral
I'm
video
sure BuzzFeed has done that before because they've got stuff of, old grandmas smoke weed for the first time.
Right.
One of the ones that I watched yesterday was the Try Guys. So they've got these various series. The Try Guys is a group of 4 guys that work for BuzzFeed. The Try Guys make bread without a recipe. And then they were judged on taste, presentation, and finally, is it bread?
Right.
And the judges, there was one guy that they said, this is bread-like. It was the closest thing to bread. Yeah, he wound up winning.
Yeah, good for him.
He also put 3 bottles of beer in his bread.
All right.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. Is it bread? Is it saving humanity? Is it saving America? 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Happy the rescue dog. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, but I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Have you ever wondered who the second person to discover gravity was? When you're in the mood for a treat, would you go to the second best bakery in town? Or how about the name John Breckenridge? Recognize it? If you don't, that's because he came in second to Abraham Lincoln. The firsts are first for a reason. Just how ID Stronghold was the first to create the technology to protect your credit cards from thieves with RFID chip scanners. ID Stronghold products block signals from those scanners, so thieves can't capture your critical data. Get a stronghold on your personal information and protect your family too. Don't settle for the second best wallet. Pick up ID Stronghold wallets for everyone on your list this holiday season. They're the perfect stocking stuffer, with leather wallets starting as low as $20 on Walmart.com, eBay, Amazon, and QVC. Save 10% by using coupon code PRESENT for a limited time. That's coupon code PRESENT only on idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get to the phones here in just a second. Cards Against Humanity wants to save America from Donald Trump, but maybe you want to save yourself and the financial system. Well, how about creating a better financial system for everyone? Consider joining Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it's easy, it can be private, the fees are low, and transactions are fast or can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash, so go right now to dash.org and find out why. Let's go to Stefan calling in on Skype. Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live.
Sit empty. The beverage.
Hold on, not sure. There was some audio coming off of something.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that was you.
No. I heard some sort of voice track there for a second, and I had no idea where it was coming from.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd like to discuss some of the problems I've been having with my state Libertarian Party.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
So as you
and
as
for
you
people
guys,
that aren't aware, you're in Ohio.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, as you know, I'm a candidate for governor in 2018 in my state. And it seems like my state party is trying to participate in a popularity contest and is clearly favoring another candidate over me because they don't seem interested in my candidacy whatsoever.
So let me ask this question. When you say the state party, do you mean the members of the executive committee? Do you mean rank and file members of the party?
I spoke to a few people who were on the I spoke to a few of the political directors.
Okay.
And they seem to favor another candidate over me. Forget this, his last name.
Is that what
What's
they
the last name?
said?
Kasich, Bush,
Taft.
Oh, right, because you're in the land of Taft.
Right.
So
Yes.
therefore, okay.
Yes. And we've had a lot of politicians come out of the state of Ohio with the last name Taft.
Right.
And it seems like they're pushing him on as the nominee, and his positions are really unclear.
Is he a libertarian?
He claims to be. He's filed to run for governor as a libertarian.
So let me ask this question before you get too deep into some of the inner workings. How does the Ohio Libertarian Party nominate their candidates? Because that's something that differs from state to state. So in some states where the party has ballot access, they're forced by statute to have a primary. Other states where they have ballot access, they're allowed to opt to nominate by convention. So what's the process there in Ohio? Is there convention? Is it primary?
That will actually depend on whether or not we get enough signatures to be recognized as a state party. I don't know if you know this, but you can only have a primary in the state of Ohio if the state recognizes that you are a party. And in order to do that, you have to get a certain amount of signatures to qualify. That's also how you register for a party in the state of Ohio, is by asking for a particular ballot in a partisan primary. So whether or not we have a convention or a primary is dependent on whether or not we can get ballot access.
I know ballot access in Ohio was one of like the worst states when Gary Johnson ran. I think it was like 35,000 signatures, valid signatures.
He couldn't even run as a libertarian. He had to be an independent because the process of running for a minor party is such a pain.
Wow. Right, and part of that we can thank John Kasich for, because in 2014, I believe it was, when the Ohio Libertarians were qualified to have a primary, John Kasich spent, I believe it was $600,000 to kick the Libertarians off the ballot by making sure that the gubernatorial candidate was unable to qualify for the primary, and since there was nobody on the primary ballot, they weren't allowed to have a candidate on the general ballot.
Yes, and it's funny because the Ohio Congress actually passed a bill later in that year that basically kicked Charlie Earl off of the ballot in the state.
Right.
He was forcibly removed from the ballot. But what I was getting into is I think maybe the Libertarian Party of Ohio is being a bit like the Libertarian Party on a national level, where it's more like they're playing a popularity contest than actually trying to get a candidate who's passionate about the issues. They're more concerned about votes. I had spoken with one of the political directors, Tricia Sprangle, and when I was speaking to her on the phone, she said, I'm not going to allow anybody to run, or I'm not going to support anybody who's running if they can't retain 3% on the ballot. She's more interested in results, and it seems like the majority of the committee is more interested in results than they are about an actual libertarian running. And right. I think that's completely unfair. And I don't know what it is with the national LP and many state LPs. I don't know if it's like that in New Hampshire, probably not. But many state libertarian parties are like this as well, where they're more interested in results than they are actually being libertarian.
And I don't know who the political director, I know you mentioned her name, but I don't know who that person is. I've never interacted with her. But I do think it's rather interesting that she's taking it upon herself to dissuade someone from basically, contesting the nomination, to where, at least if there's a convention, let the delegates decide who the nominee is. If it's a primary, let the voters decide. Now, I personally don't like the concept of having open primaries to where non-libertarians get to choose who the Libertarian Party's nominees are. But, to actively dissuade someone from running, I can't say I'm in favor of that.
I'm not either, and I just want to hop in here. I'm not a member of the Libertarian Party, never have been. I would probably agree with them more on most issues than either of the other two parties. I just don't like parties. I just like to sit at home by myself.
What about pizza parties?
Pizza parties are okay. But I think that what this talks about is the whole and how rigged this entire system is against any third party. They probably would be less concerned with this if it wasn't virtually impossible in most of the country for libertarians just to band together and act like the big political parties. You know, choose your delegates, choose your nominees, and put them out there. No, libertarians have to jump through all kinds of hoops. Same thing with Green Party or Constitution Party or any of them. It's ridiculous.
I think when it comes to politics, and this is something like a lot of like libertarians don't seem to grasp, is that when you're growing a political party, you're doing it like a business. That means that you need to have people that can work. You need to have people that can communicate well with others. Like, it's not all just about, okay, who's the most principled. It's who can work, who can put in the hours, who can, get elected into this position and have the ability to effectively communicate with other people in government, that they're going to be able to communicate and get them to come around to more liberty-minded views. Like, you can't just go in there screaming, this is how it's supposed to be, and, have everybody else in government want to work with you. And part of being choosy and nominating, libertarian candidates is picking people with good communication skills, people that aren't going to drive people away, but people that are going to actually accomplish stuff and get stuff done, as opposed to just standing on a
But isn't it important to have principle as well? I don't
But
want to nominate
everybody
somebody just
has-
because they have speaking skills.
No, it's not just that. It's a combination of both, right? And this is what we do when we cast a vote for anybody, is we assess all these things and vote for somebody that we feel is the best fit. So it's not necessarily just communication skills or just the most libertarian. It's a combination of who's going to be the most effective at the long term, in the long term. And if your long-term goal is liberty, like, it's going to take progress to get towards that. And you know what? The other fact too, like, if people go into a campaign assuming that they know everything, right? Like, we see it all the time. People put themselves on this moral pedestal because we're libertarian, and we're apparently better than every other Democrat and Republican that exists because we've officially figured out everything, and now we are the most moral people in politics, and we're better than everyone, and that's not going to get you elected. I can promise you that, because the majority of people are not libertarian.
That's why Ron Paul never made it anywhere.
I mean, I see this mentality. I've been working in the Libertarian Party since 2014. This is just what I've seen.
Hold
in
on,
my
Stefan. I'm not sure if you had more to add. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Should libertarians just go hire the best pitchman or the guy that understands the product?
Are you tired of paying fees and commissions to that other site? I know you are. And I'm here to tell you about a great alternative to sell your stuff. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the best-selling site to ever come along. It doesn't matter what you're selling, big or small, it's easier than ever. And you can use Skype to show your items and get to know your potential buyer, and they can see that you are for real. No more blind trust. And you're not limited to snapshots. You can video what you're selling to better sell it fast. For as little as $9.95, and that's after a free 30 days, you can sell everything you no longer want with absolutely no fees, ever. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and become part of a community of buyers and sellers who have already discovered this revolutionary way of getting it sold online. That's BuySellMakeOffer.com. You'll never regret making the switch. BuySellMakeOffer.com. So, what are you waiting for?
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, November 16th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.09 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,280 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,405. Antiwar.com reports continuing to deny reports that he is being held against his will in Saudi Arabia. Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Harari has said his intention is to return to Lebanon in the next 2 days. Harari has been reported to have left Saudi Arabia several times in the last 10 days, but always ends up having never left Riyadh. The European Union on Wednesday reiterated that it's important for Harari to be allowed to leave, and the Saudis ought not meddle in Lebanon's domestic affairs. That's not exactly Saudi Arabia's position. They've been talking up a declaration of war by Lebanon and conceded with Harari's resignation from his premiership, a resignation that, according to media reports, the Saudis wrote for him. Harari had claimed he met with a top Iranian official before he left for Saudi Arabia, claiming a tense meeting in which he demanded Iran stop interfering. Iran confirmed the meeting but said Harari lied about the contents, claiming Harari had offered to mediate Saudi-Iranian tensions and that the meeting went well. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. UPI reports a federal judge ruled Wednesday that the federal government cannot withhold law enforcement grants from the city of Philadelphia due to its status as a sanctuary city. U.S. District Judge Michael Belson issued a 128-page ruling stating a $1.5 million Department of Justice law enforcement grant cannot be withheld from Philadelphia because the city refuses to fully cooperate with federal agents to identify people who immigrated without appropriate documents. The city filed suit against Attorney General Jeff Sessions in August regarding the grant, which accounts for a portion of the city's $4.4 billion budget. Belson ruled that withholding the grant would cause irreparable harm as part of the funds are used by first responders who provide life-saving naloxone to victims of opioid overdose. Belson stated that Philadelphia should be able to deal with local issues as it sees best, finding the city did comply with a federal law banning municipalities from restricting contact with ICE. Belson wrote, in this case, given Philadelphia's unique approach to meshing the legitimate needs of the federal government to remote criminal aliens with the city's promotion of health and safety, there is no conflict of any significance. The city of Philadelphia rejects the title of sanctuary city, which is defined as a city that limits its cooperation with federal authorities who enforce immigration law, stating immigrants who commit crimes are arrested and charged. DOJ spokesman Devin O'Malley said officials were reviewing the ruling and determining next steps, pointing out Philadelphia's high murder rate as an example of sanctuary policies undermining law enforcement. Police Commissioner Richard Ross had previously testified most people who commit crimes in the city are natural-born Philadelphians, and Belson said the government had not been able to prove a link between the city's policies and crime. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 3 streets in Hollywood, Florida, named for Confederate generals, were changed to Freedom, Hope, and Liberty after a vote by the city's commission on Wednesday. The commission voted unanimously to change the names from Forrest, Hood, and Lee, named for the leaders of the Confederate Army, Robert E. Lee, and fellow generals Nathan Bedford Forrest and John Bell Hood. Officials did not say when the street signs would be switched. The planned change highlights a persistent debate in the U.S. South over the display of Confederate battle flags and other symbols of the rebel side. Several cities, including New Orleans, Dallas, St. Louis, and Lexington, Kentucky, have recently removed or relocated statues and memorials. In Hollywood, about 20 miles north of Miami, the issue led to 3 protests, 2 in support of the street name changes and 1 against. There were several heated city commission meetings, the most recent in late August when the city voted that the streets would be renamed. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. All 7 deadly sins were committed at a church bake sale. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Avarice, sloth, envy, lust, gluttony, pride, and wrath. All 7 of the fabled deadly sins were committed on Sunday at the twice-annual bake sale at St. Mary's of the Immaculate Conception Church. According to St. Mary's treasurer, Beth Ellen Coyle, church-sponsored events are a notorious breeding ground for these treasonous acts against the Lord God.
This is supposed to be about the glorification of God, not violating His word. Do that and you're no better than that cheap strumpet Melissa Wyckoff with those sinful chocolate cookies of hers.
The 7 deadly sins were first outlined in the 5th century by Gregory the Great, who himself was, as indicated by his very name, toying dangerously with the sin of pride. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Kicking off hour number 2. You can join us by calling in toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And let's go back to Skype, where we've got Stefan calling in from Ohio. Stefan, thank you for holding over the news. You had called in to say that you're planning to run for governor of Ohio next year, and you would like to run as a libertarian, but the party, and by that you mean some of the leadership of the party, has been less than receptive, saying that they already have a candidate that they want to place on the ballot, even though you were saying that most likely there would need to be a primary if the party collects enough valid signatures to get onto the ballot. And the way a candidate gets on the ballot is by collecting signatures. So there may or may not be a primary, may or may not be a convention vote, but one of the political directors for the party basically told you support this other guy because his last name is Taft.
Yes, and the woman in question pretty much begged me not to run and spent weeks trying to convince me to run for other positions because she didn't. She had literally told me, I don't want you splitting the libertarian base.
Oh, no.
So is she afraid that you would petition your way onto the ballot and then there be 2 libertarians on the general election ballot?
The way it works is I actually have the form right here. You have to run in a party with this particular form, which is number 2A. There can't be more than one person in a singular party on the ballot. She is more afraid that if there is a primary, that I could potentially actually win that primary. And since my last name isn't Taft, they'd have a harder time winning.
Hey, if you win the primary, more power to you, you know.
So let me ask this question. Why governor instead of, say, state rep or county commissioner?
I'd like to run for governor because I want to get more people in the discussion of liberty, and I think running for a much higher office would extend my message more so than if I were to run for state rep. Not to mention, I live in what is quite possibly the most, redneck Republican area in the state. I don't think my message of freedom is going to really work around here the way it could maybe in the Cleveland area, for example.
Are there other statewide offices that are on the ballot in Ohio next year?
I believe Secretary of State is going to be up for vote again.
Okay. Why not Secretary of State instead of governor?
I'm not exactly sure I could handle that position.
Okay. I'm curious why.
I know that they are the ones in charge of election results, and I've never been very good with that kind of thing. I'm not very good at managing much, and not that much at least.
I think you sell yourself short. I think you'd be very good at whatever you ran for.
Yeah. Go ahead. sorry, I feel bad, but I'd like to run for governor because maybe there is a chance that I could be invited to some forums, because that's the race everybody's going to be paying attention to.
True.
I don't think many people are going to be paying attention to the race for Secretary of State, which I believe last time the late Mark Allen Feldman ran in. But I think more people are going to be paying attention to the gubernatorial election than any other election in the state. And if I could garner up enough support that I could be invited to forums, more people will hear what I have to say. I'm uninterested in winning.
Right.
Winning is out of the question. I mean, I want a scenario where I get people involved in talking about the issue of liberty, and if poll numbers and the public responds better, then you switch the focus to trying to win. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Can I make a comment here? Because I've actually heard so many people say, like, I'm not interested in winning. I'm not interested in winning. When I ran in 2014 for state senate, absolutely I was interested in winning. Like, there's no point in running if you don't want to win. The thing is that it's a win-win even if you don't win, right? Because you're still getting your ideas out there. But if you have the intent to want to win the election, then that's going to make you work harder because your goal is to win. So you've set that goal. Now all you need is a path to do it, to make it happen. So I don't think you should go into it without being driven to win it, because the worst thing you can do if you're going to run for office is go into it expecting to lose. Like, you're not going to try as hard. You know what I mean? And so you want to get it in your own mind that you want to win. And even if you lose, you're still winning, right? You can learn from what you did wrong. There's so much to take away from a lost election if you give it 110%, that you should always go into it trying to win.
But I think deluding myself into thinking a Libertarian Party candidate is going to win, the gubernatorial election.
That thinking is why we're not winning.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it is.
That is the kind of thinking that gets you people like Gary Johnson.
Nope.
We need to win, so we need to pick the most politician-like individual.
No, winning isn't even about who you pick, right? It's about what you do. Like, you, Stefan, could win the election. All you have to do is try, right? People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So plan how to win, right? What does it take? What separates people like Gary Johnson and Bill Weld that have won election? What separates them from you?
But you and I see it that way, but party leadership when they have that message.
Become party leadership. Don't let another, there's nobody that is better than you, okay? There's nobody that's better than me. There's nobody that's better than Chris or Darryl, right? We're all human. We all have the same potential. If somebody else is winning, right, step up to the plate and challenge them. If it's party leadership, run for party leadership, right? We need more go-getters. We need people to be motivated and believe in themselves, and that's how we're going to grow the party. That's how freedom happens. It's not by saying, well, we're not going to win, and being pessimistic and having all these negative thoughts.
But you don't understand. What I'm trying to get at is, you think it's a good idea to go into it wanting to win. Well, party leadership sees that, and they nominate people who are more politician-like.
That's their own strategy, though.
Well, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be Stefan's. I get where you're coming from, Stefan, because I've run for a position that I knew I had zero chance of winning, but it was fun, number one, to be able to get out there and get the other two talking about subjects that they had never broached.
What was that, the election where you didn't even make the ballot, but they still wound up talking about issues
that I brought up, and that was kind of fun and kind of cool, and that was a sheriff's position, but I got both of them to start talking about gun rights, and I got both of them talking about the war on drugs, and that was cool. So,
and that's what we want.
But I think Heather's point of view is a good one, and it's a practical one. If you go out, if you show up at whatever event they might possibly invite you to, and you go out there acting like you're ready to win, it does convey something else. And not everybody has that built into them.
Oh, I'm not going down without a fight.
Good man. That's all we want to hear.
If there is a forum between the Republican and Democratic forum, I don't care if I'm, candidates, not forum. I said that twice. I don't care if I'm invited or not. I'll be there. I'll do anything to get it out there. I don't care if I get arrested, Jill Stein style. I don't care. I'll be there. That's the
Yeah.
whole point, is to get the message out. And while there is an opportunity to win, I don't think it's there. But you know what? If the message gets out and people seem genuinely interested, that's when you shift the focus to winning.
Right.
I say you just start off with the focus there. So,
So
that's
I've
where
got
we
one
differ.
more question for you, Stefan. Why not lieutenant governor? Because the gubernatorial candidate is going to need a running mate.
That's really interesting you bring that up, because it is actually impossible for you to file for candidacy without having somebody to run with you. You have to run joint. I can't actually file this form in my hand until I have a lieutenant governor, or vice versa. If I wanted to run for lieutenant governor, I'd have to have the gubernatorial candidate sign on with me at the same time.
We're sending Darryl out immediately.
Do it.
Interesting. And I don't know who's paying for my plane ticket or gas or whatever, but Stefan, best of luck with that. Thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Fireplaces and wood stoves are wonderful to have and provide low-cost heating, but they've got their drawbacks too. One of them is the increased likelihood that your home will burn. My primary advice is to you is to never let fire into your home, and make sure that you have an extinguisher on every floor and the garage, and that everyone knows how to use it. But if you love your wood stove, don't want to give it up, make sure that you keep things away from it, and have a professional clean it every year. The pro will make sure the chimney is properly functioning also. Make sure to dispose of your ashes outside too. I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement, and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 453. That's 855 450 3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Chris, you've got a story from FreedomWorks about 19 ridiculous federal criminal laws and regulations. We'll get into that in just a moment. But maybe you have an idea for a website or you want to start your own blog, but you've not yet put that idea into action. Well, if you want to save money on hosting, then you're in luck because HostGator, one of the top hosting companies out there, is offering a special deal to Free Talk Live listeners. Go to HostGator.com/FTL and you can get up to 50% off their regular prices. Hosting your own website or blog can be intimidating, but HostGator makes it easy. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, and they've got 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive and user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation and the simplicity of use into the hands of you, the customer. HostGator also has a 99.99% uptime rating, so you don't have to worry about outages. To get that special offer of up to 50% off for Free Talk Live listeners, visit HostGator.com/FTL.
So we were just kind of had this idea, maybe it'd be fun to go through a list. And I follow I
like lists.
Lists are fun. Lists are good.
My favorite list is the thing that's written in spray paint on the side of a building that says, 3 things I hate. Graffiti, list, and irony.
I like that one too. But if anybody's on Twitter, you can follow Crime a Day. And Crime a Day publishes things. These are from the Federal Register for the most part. Sometimes they do some state codes too, but things that are against the law. And
that's at Crime a Day, the way you would expect it to be spelled. Right. No hyphens, no underscores.
At Crime a Day on Twitter.
Yep.
And this article happens to list a bunch of them. So my idea was this. I'll read the first one. We'll discuss it very, very briefly, and then we'll flip to Darryl. He can read the next one.
Since you mentioned Crime a Day, I just pulled it up on Twitter 9 minutes ago, as of the time that I'm saying these words right now. Crime a Day post 33 USC section 990, 33 CFR section 401.101, and section 401.6 make it a federal crime to go through the St. Lawrence Seaway on a ship with a bulbous bow if she's not marked with a bulbous bow symbol and a measurement of just how bulbous her bow is.
So for that, you can go to jail. And that's kind of the point of the point of the account. They post this. They posted in 2015. They said, we have posted a different law that can get you arrested or thrown in jail every day for the last year. And at this rate, based on current estimates, we will run out of material in another 800 years.
And that's assuming that nothing else winds up getting added.
Right. Or removed, because Trump has come forward. His directive to all his cabinet agencies is that if you introduce one new regulation, you have to delete 2.
No, that's not what the executive order actually said.
Okay, please.
What the executive order said was for every new regulation that you want to implement, you must identify 2 that you would like to delete. There is no actual requirement that anything ever be deleted. And then for deleting something, it takes the same process as adding something. So it takes about a year of open comment period, this, that, and then there's votes on it. And then there's also enough exemptions to where you could drive every Mack truck that Evel Knievel ever jumped over sideways through it. So nothing's ever actually going to wind up being removed because of that executive order.
Well, we'll find out. You may do that. And I'm going to research this because it seems to me like I had read some article that gave...
Oh, the headlines all said...
No, I'm thinking PolitiFact or somebody else who took a deeper look at this to see whether... But
okay, because I actually read the executive order when all of the headlines came out saying Trump says delete 2.
Right.
Has any been deleted?
No, because it takes like a year to delete anything.
Because
at
government.
minimum.
All right, so I'm going to start off with the first one here. And we're not going to give the entire U.S. code number. That's kind of a waste of time, and nobody's going to write it down while they're listening. But you can find these. We'll post them on the website and on social media for us. But there's a thing called turkey ham.
Yes.
Okay. It is illegal to call it ham turkey, and you also can't write the words turkey and ham in 2 different fonts.
Ooh, but can you have it in 2 different size of the same font? So if I'm using Arial, could I do Arial bold for ham and then just plain Arial?
I suspect. And now,
could I do 20-point font for one word and 48 font for the other?
I think what you would find is you could end up in court arguing that you did indeed use the same font.
These are both Arial, just different sizes.
Right. But the point is this is so freaking absurd, and you're exactly right. How about different styles of the same font or different sizes?
Italics.
Does that still make it illegal?
Can you put the quotes around the word ham? So turkey, ham?
I don't know. I don't think it'd fly. I think they want turkey ham to be called turkey ham. All right, Darryl, you get the next one.
Next on the list here is the U.S. Code and Code of Federal Regulation makes it a crime to wash a fish at a faucet if it's not a fish washing faucet in a national forest. Now, there's a comma here, so I don't know if this only applies to washing fish inside of a national forest, or if it applies to washing a fish, it must be done at a fish washing faucet in a national forest. So you can't wash the fish in your kitchen. It must be a fish washing faucet in the national forest, or if you're washing a fish in a national forest.
Well, I suspect, and this is just a guess, that around in national forests and in lakes and around that, they may have a fish cleaning station.
Yes.
And that is a place with an official fish washing faucet.
Right.
But
so if you're not in a national forest, this does not apply.
Correct. But if you are in a national forest, you couldn't, for example, take your fish and clean them in your cabin that you rented from the federal government, or clean them from a faucet outside of
so what if I put up a sign
station?
What if I make a sign for myself and put it over the sink in the cabin that says fish washing?
I think then you'd be probably liable against some other federal law that we don't know anything about yet.
About making fake
signs in a
national forest.
All right, Heather, you're up.
But
I'll go ahead and read it.
Okay, go ahead.
You can go read it.
U.S. Code makes it a federal crime to knowingly let your pig enter a fenced-in area on public land where it might destroy the grass.
That's a good law.
What if it might destroy the tree trunks?
I don't know.
Where's this link?
We'll get it for you.
This is Free Talk Live. Your calls and thoughts welcome. What ridiculous laws exist in your town? I know we're talking about federal, but towns have some ridiculous ones too. 855-450-FREE.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733 in studio. It's Darryl, Heather, and Chris. And if
you always mix it up, Darryl.
If you are one of the podcast listeners and you have not yet left a rating and a review on iTunes or Stitcher or any of the other podcast aggregator sites, there might be others that I'm not aware of, please leave us a rating, leave us a review, because those ratings, those reviews wind up working into the algorithms on those sites that allow more people to wind up seeing the show, wind up hearing the show, and then hopefully be exposed to the ideas of liberty. So again, if you have not left a rating, not left a review, do that for us. We would appreciate it very much. We're talking about a bunch of weird, crazy federal regulations. A lot of these, and I think all of them, in this particular article come from the Crime a Day Twitter feed, which is at Crime a Day, the way you would expect Crime a Day to be spelled. There's no hyphens, no hashtags, no underscores, no numbers in that. And we have posted the link to this particular article on our Facebook and our Twitter, facebook.freetalklive.com and twitter.freetalklive.com. We'll get back to this list in just a moment. But first to Skype, where we've got Ricky calling in. Ricky, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
That would be from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania there, Brother Darryl.
From the Commonwealth of Skype. Go ahead.
So be it. Well, I got a promise to keep. But before that, I listened to the Stephen show. Now, that being said, I need to give a quick message to Stephen before I keep my promise. All right there, Sister Heather and Brother Chris?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, listen there, Stephen from the state of Ohio. This is Ricky from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Now, you're going to run for governor. Now, I'm a deputy of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I swore on my honor to tell the truth and uphold the law of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania wherever I may go. And I was sure, so help me God. That being said, here's the story here, Stephen. You are right next side of me, as you previously have said, in Ohio. And the problem here is, just like most people in Ohio, you're a wishy-washy statist. And I will furthermore say, Brother Ian called you out on this already, but you just ignore it. The problem is these autistic libertarians. You're no more libertarian than I'm a communist. I'm a Democratic Republican. I'm hardcore. Now, I got a question for you, and I expect an answer next
Well,
week.
he's not on the phone right now, so you can't ask a question. Thank you for the call, Ricky.
Oh, come on. I had a nice little rebuttal to that. That was...
Oh, boy.
Ricky. Isn't Ricky a sheriff? Isn't that
He
a form of
claims to be a deputy of some sort.
Isn't that like a hierarchy? I mean, isn't that what statism is, right? It's like social hierarchies.
What? Stated? No.
The government, that's what it is. It's hierarchies, right? It's
Well, you can have a
placing people above
hierarchy
other
in
people.
anything. You can have a hierarchy in a church.
Exactly. And that's what I think people find, or these libertarians that hate the state find that they dislike, is the hierarchy. They don't like being at the bottom.
What?
I don't know where she's going with this.
No,
It's human behavior. Okay, you know what? I think anybody that calls themselves an anarchist, please just go online for a couple weeks, do a little reading on sociology, concepts in sociology, maybe even a little, human communication.
So
books.
let me ask a question in a slightly different manner. Do you believe, Heather, that some people have more rights than others?
Huh? No, I don't believe anybody has any rights. This is like the friggin' wild here, right? We're animals.
No one has
this
any
is the
rights?
animal kingdom.
Because
we have...
what you described as those anarchists, they believe that nobody has more rights than anybody else. So if you want to say that that's against all forms of hierarchy, then that's kind of a straw man.
Like if people decide to
drawing.
collectivize and another group of people ends up the weakest link in the community, I mean, that's natural selection.
What does that have to do with whether somebody has more rights than somebody else?
What are rights? The only reason we have quote unquote rights is because of government. Is because the majority of people.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, it is. You guys have it all backwards.
Okay. Well, let me offer what I believe.
Because collectivism is what gives you rights, right? If the majority of people in a given region agree that Ian owns that property, even though he doesn't dwell there, then guess what? He's going to have property rights.
Okay.
And you're going to have a government that enforces his eviction or whatever it was that he just did.
Here's how I look at it. I believe I follow the Lockean idea of natural rights. In other words, when I was born, before I knew anything, before I had anything, I owned my body. So my property rights sort of started there. It was a natural right. I owned myself. And I have a natural right, not granted by any government, to say what I wish. Now, when I say these things, I may get my butt kicked because I've offended somebody, But I have that right to say that. Government never gave me that right. And we talk about the Bill of Rights, which is what most people associate when they hear about rights and saying, well, the government grants you the right to keep and bear arms.
No, they recognize that you have that right.
Yeah, and this is where our founding fathers were coming from. They believed in the Lockean idea of natural rights, that you have a right to choose your own religion. You have a right to expression. You have a right to defend yourself. These are natural rights that are inherent in the human condition or granted by your creator. And the purpose of the Bill of Rights is to keep government from infringing upon those.
The Bill of Rights is a governing document.
Yes, it's a thing that
it is what limits.
You have to have everybody in that region agree to abide by the Bill of Rights, and it becomes enforceable. It's like social contract theory.
The Bill of Rights, and I'm holding a metal version in my hand.
Thank you.
This metal version of the Bill of Rights, or the version written on the really old paper in 17 whatever it was, that did not give me any rights. It simply stated that the United States federal government would recognize that these rights are pre-existing. These rights are inherent.
Correct.
And there were even some people that were federalists that said, no, we don't need a Bill of Rights, because some people at a later date might interpret that to be a restriction of you only have these rights.
You only have those. If it's not mentioned there, then the government can do it.
Amendment 9 even goes so far as to recognize that this is not an exhaustive list. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
Exactly. So we have all these rights. Here's how I like to think about it, and it's opportune that we bring this subject up because we're talking about absolutely ridiculous federal laws. We have a Constitution that is supposed to restrain the federal government, and every law that they pass is supposed to be constitutional.
Supposed to.
The federal government, as it's turned out after 250-odd years or whatever it happens to be.
About 240.
240. Has 80,000 pages of U.S. code directed at us, while we still have the 4 or 5 pages of U.S. Constitution.
Depending on what sort of font you use.
Exactly. This is all the rules that restrain the government. The 80,000 pages restrains us. And that's not how this was designed to be. Read the Declaration of Independence. That's a really good place to get your head around what they were talking about. And
so what
it's
you're
very
saying is you want a government that enforces the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, is what you're saying.
No, I would stay the Constitution. I'm not really in favor of a government at all. But if we could ever make it back to the point where the government actually followed the Constitution, we'd be miles ahead of where we are now.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on these absolutely ridiculous laws? This is Free Talk Live.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories. While I say these hobgoblins are imaginary, I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Have you ever lost your power and wanted to simply flip a switch to get the lights back on? If so, pay close attention because huge discounts are now available in solar generators. Perfect for backup power outages and emergencies. Portable solar generators provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. And unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no dangerous fumes, and produces an endless supply of electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running secretly in your own home. Right now, get a $5,000 solar generator for just $995 while supplies last. Go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more. That's mysolarbackup.com. GCN listeners use coupon code GCN at checkout for this special offer. MySolarBackup.com. Use coupon code GCN. EMP protection available at an additional charge.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. We're talking about ridiculous federal laws and regulations. But before we get back to that, let's talk about nutritional supplements for a minute. Over 60% of Americans take a nutritional supplement, and for good reason. Nutrient depletion of our soil, coupled with dependence on processed foods, has left most people deficient in essential nutrients. But where do you start? If you go to a naturopath, they'll likely tell you that cheap vitamins and minerals just don't cut it, that you also need probiotics, enzymes, antioxidants, and other nutrients. By the time it's all said and done, you're buying 5 bottles and spending $150 a month. If this is a situation that you've experienced, you need to know about Whole Food Multi-Complete. For over 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has been quietly providing what the big guys want: the perfect blend of supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. Visit simplifymysupplements.com to learn more. Enter code FTL to receive 10% off your order every time you order. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. And they take Bitcoin. Now, what you need to do if you're paying with Bitcoin is up at the top of the page, click the I want to pay with Bitcoin, and then it takes you to basically a embedded response form. Put your information, put in the body of the message what products you want to order, and include that code FTL to get that discount. SimplifyMySupplements.com, code FTL. Chris, let's jump back into this ridiculous list from Crime a Day. And no, we're not going to read all 1,698 tweets that they have posted, including the one from my birthday where they say that it's a federal crime to sell Italian sausage that does not contain fennel, anise, or both.
And we've covered a couple here, like you can't call turkey ham ham turkey, and you can't use different fonts for the word turkey and the word ham. We also talked about how it's illegal to wash your fish at a faucet that is not a fish washing faucet in a national forest. And that protects lots of people from, I have no idea what, but it is. The next one we're going to go on to has to do with golf. It makes, this is U.S. Code 18, and we're not going to give all the chapters, but it makes it a federal crime to harass a golfer in any national park in Washington, D.C.
So I know that there are a lot of national parks in Washington, D.C. How many of them have golf courses? Or does it just mean, like, if you happen to know that's Arnold Palmer walking around the National Mall and you run up and you start begging him for an autograph?
I don't know, but
this one's interesting.
Yeah, because Arnold Palmer, known golfer,
Right.
also a drink magnet. He decided to mix lemonade and tea. So maybe you just know him from the drink, or maybe you know him from golf. So
I really don't know, but I find it pretty insane that we have to make a federal law, which means there is a corresponding punishment to this law.
Right.
Harassing a golfer.
It's not just harassing someone. It's specifically harassing a golfer.
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
I like this one. It says, makes it a federal crime to advertise wine in a manner that suggests it has intoxicating qualities. Which, now that I think about all the wine commercials I've ever seen, it's so true. They never make it appear like you can get drunk off it or anything. It's always more of like
you're not allowed to say, it'll get you drunk.
It'll get you lit.
That's weird. I go through a bottle of wine like it's water, and then I'm gone.
Right, but it's that way pretty much with any kind of advertising for alcohol. You can look at anything. You look at beer ads. Nobody's ever hammered. They're just,
I can
hey,
assure
I'm
you
having a
it
beer.
has intoxicating qualities.
Since you mentioned beer ads, and we'll get to Skype here in just a second, there's an Onion spoof talking about the party train. Was it Coors Light that had the party train commercials a few years ago?
Yes, I think so.
So there's an Onion spoof about the Coors Light party train derailing from the non-existent tracks, and absolutely hilarious. Let's go to Skype, where we've got Dave Ridley calling in from somewhere in New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live with Darryl, Heather, and Chris. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, boys and girls.
Hi, Dave.
Well, as you are aware, there was one of the better Free State economic successes was Murphy's Tap Room.
Sure.
Still is. I think they're expanding into other locations.
They've opened a second location in a neighboring town, neighboring to Manchester, where the original location is.
They would have done it more and faster if they hadn't been stopped. I think they tried to purchase some of the failing weather vane locations, but were slowed down by the government, but they're still expanding. Anyway, that's actually not what I called to talk about, but rather a different expansion along the same lines. I guess there's another liberty activist or Free Stater expansion into Merrimack. There's a post on the Free State Project forums by someone named David Garcia, and he says, quote, "I bought Frank's place in Merrimack, and I want to invite everybody to go meet me and my family there. We just began managing last week." Unquote.
And what is Frank's place?
I think it's like a grocery store, sort of convenience grocery store.
I did get the impression that it was more than just a restaurant, but I think it is primarily a restaurant. And
interesting.
It's right on the highway, I guess, in Merrimack. And I don't really have any other details, but it's just nice to see, additional liberty activist businesses sort of setting down roots.
Yep, definitely. Dave, anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. And yeah, I agree. It's always good when you've got liberty activists that are moving and either bringing businesses with them or opening new ones. Like you did, Chris, about, what was it, year and a half or 2 years ago?
Going to be 2 years, December 4th.
Where you've got a local good shop of locally sourced products.
Yeah.
What are some of the various things that people can come in and buy with crypto?
You can buy with crypto.
And you can even buy crypto.
New Hampshire maple syrup, New Hampshire T-shirts and things like that, candles, quilts, all kinds of things that people in our local area make. And yeah, we do take cryptocurrency. So we've had people buy things with Bitcoin for the last couple of years. But within, the last couple of months, we're seeing more people purchase things with Dash. We've done sales with Bitcoin Cash. And
what's the most used crypto right now? Because I know the fees on Bitcoin are getting kind of crazy.
I would say Dash right now. Dash ahead of Bitcoin because it's just within the last month or two that switched. But we still had people paying with Bitcoin despite the high fees there for a while. But now it's definitely Dash. Interestingly, we've accepted more transactions using cryptocurrency than we have using American Express. And I think that's kind of impressive. American Express, it's not the top card by any means.
Right.
But
it's kind of one of those like Discover where it's like, oh yeah, we also have this other thing.
Right. And it probably beats Discover too. We haven't done a lot of sales in that too. But it's neat to have a place where people that are into crypto can actually go into brick and mortar store and spend it. I like it.
And you also sell sheds that people could use as tiny houses.
We do.
And those, while I don't think they're on the list, tiny houses in a lot of places are very heavily regulated where various municipalities across the country have basically told people, no, you're not allowed to live in a house smaller than this many square feet.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. And New Hampshire's definitely not an exception to the rule. There are a lot of folks here that are working on getting that legislation changed.
And again, we're talking about these various weird regulations at the federal level. Thanks to the Crime A Day Twitter feed, FreedomWorks has compiled 19 of the most ridiculous. Just mentioned the one about there's a U.S. code and Code of Federal Regulations making it a federal crime to harass a golfer in a national park in Washington, D.C. You want to harass golfers in Zion National Park? Yeah, go ahead. Do that all day long. You just can't harass them in a national park in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I kind of understand that. That's keeping us safe from something.
It's also a federal crime to consult with a known pirate.
Arr. Gotta love that one.
Now, there are various ways you can define pirate, and I would love to and probably will pull
Johnny
up.
Depp can't have friends.
I want to pull up to see how they define pirate, because we're talking about somebody that has downloaded music from BitTorrent, or are we talking about some other kind of pirate? Your calls and thoughts welcome. What's some stupid laws where you live? 855-450-FREE.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees, no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up, too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days, free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, November 16th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.09 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,280 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,405. Antiwar.com reports continuing to deny reports that he is being held against his will in Saudi Arabia. Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Harari has said his intention is to return to Lebanon in the next 2 days. Harari has been reported to have left Saudi Arabia several times in the last 10 days, but always ends up having never left Riyadh. The European Union on Wednesday reiterated that it's important for Harari to be allowed to leave, and the Saudis ought not meddle in Lebanon's domestic affairs. That's not exactly Saudi Arabia's position. They've been talking up a declaration of war by Lebanon and conceded with Harari's resignation from his premiership, a resignation that, according to media reports, the Saudis wrote for him. Harari had claimed he met with a top Iranian official before he left for Saudi Arabia, claiming a tense meeting in which he demanded Iran stop interfering. Iran confirmed the meeting but said Harari lied about the contents, claiming Harari had offered to mediate Saudi-Iranian tensions and that the meeting went well. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numeri supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. UPI reports a federal judge ruled Wednesday that the federal government cannot withhold law enforcement grants from the city of Philadelphia due to its status as a sanctuary city. U.S. District Judge Michael Belson issued a 128-page ruling stating a $1.5 million Department of Justice law enforcement grant cannot be withheld from Philadelphia because the city refuses to fully cooperate with federal agents to identify people who immigrated without appropriate documents. The city filed suit against Attorney General Jeff Sessions in August regarding the grant, which accounts for a portion of the city's $4.4 billion budget. Belson ruled that withholding the grant would cause irreparable harm as part of the funds are used by first responders who provide life-saving naloxone to victims of opioid overdose. Belson stated that Philadelphia should be able to deal with local issues as it sees best, finding the city did comply with a federal law banning municipalities from restricting contact with ICE. Belson wrote, in this case, given Philadelphia's unique approach to meshing the legitimate needs of the federal government to remote criminal aliens with the city's promotion of health and safety, there is no conflict of any significance. The city of Philadelphia rejects the title of sanctuary city, which is defined as a city that limits its cooperation with federal authorities who enforce immigration law, stating immigrants who commit crimes are arrested and charged. DOJ spokesman Devin O'Malley said officials were reviewing the ruling and determining next steps, pointing out Philadelphia's high murder rate as an example of sanctuary policies undermining law enforcement. Police Commissioner Richard Ross had previously testified most people who commit crimes in the city are natural-born Philadelphians, and Belson said the government had not been able to prove a link between the city's policies and crime. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 3 streets in Hollywood, Florida, named for Confederate generals, were changed to Freedom, Hope, and Liberty after a vote by the city's commission on Wednesday. The commission voted unanimously to change the names from Forrest, Hood, and Lee, named for the leaders of the Confederate Army, Robert E. Lee, and fellow generals Nathan Bedford Forrest and John Bell Hood. Officials did not say when the street signs would be switched. The planned change highlights a persistent debate in the U.S. South over the display of Confederate battle flags and other symbols of the rebel side. Several cities, including New Orleans, Dallas, St. Louis, and Lexington, Kentucky, have recently removed or relocated statues and memorials. In Hollywood, about 20 miles north of Miami, the issue led to 3 protests, 2 in support of the street name changes and 1 against. There were several heated city commission meetings, the most recent in late August when the city voted that the streets would be renamed. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Patrons at a local Boston sports club watched dumbfounded today as an unidentified man's personal trainer forced him to put on an embarrassing athletic spectacle for the entire gym.
Like a machine, there you go.
According to sources, the degrading little show went on for nearly 45 minutes, with the man reportedly being paraded around every section of the fitness establishment doing anything his trainer commanded.
I wish I could turn around and concentrate on my workout, but I can't help but keep watching. He has to know how ridiculous he looks.
Sources added that the whole spectacle was made even sadder by the personal trainer encouraging the man to, quote, push himself a little harder.
It's like watching a trained seal.
Okay, so when you stand like that, you want to feel pressure in your knees, like this, right here, okay? Okay, give it a shot.
You root for him to tell the trainer that he's a human being with dignity and just walk away. But no, he keeps subjecting himself to this.
All right. Let's have you get on your back and walk like a crab. Come on.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 3. You can join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. We're talking about absolutely, utterly ridiculous federal crimes, or at least I think they're ridiculous. Chris, I think you agree.
I'm with you. I think everybody here are. I think we've been unanimous so far in the ridiculousness of these.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And the last one that we went over last hour was the federal regulation or statute code that makes it a federal crime to consult with a known pirate.
Arr.
So I wanted to figure out how they define pirate.
Arr.
And the same chapter, they define citizens as pirates and aliens as pirates. And it's basically, committing the same actions, just whether or not you're subject to the United States jurisdiction, whatnot. So I'm going to read citizen as pirate, whoever being a citizen of the United States commits murder or robbery or any act of hostility against the United States or against any citizen thereof on the high seas, under color of any commission from any foreign prince or state or on pretense of authority from any person, is a pirate and shall be imprisoned for life.
So does that list the date that law was created by any chance?
June 25th, 1948.
Now that's interesting because
is when it was put into the U.S. Code. Now, whether or not this existed as something
else
outside of the U.S. Code prior, because there, and I don't want to get too deep into this conspiracy, but there's the conspiracy that the U.S. Code isn't actually law, and it's the something of the corporate
corporate
gold
bylaws,
fringe,
right.
something flag, maritime court.
Yeah, I forgot about that conspiracy. The Maritime Court conspiracy.
But it's all tied in together as part of the same weird conspiracy thing.
But this same law that the law we're discussing says that it makes it a federal crime to consult with a known pirate.
Yes.
Also came about in 1948. That's why that seems to me is a very recent law. When I think of laws about piracy, I don't know. I guess I've seen
the
too many.
Barbary pirates,
Right.
1800s.
Right. I
My
think.
daughter was a pirate for Halloween.
Arr. See, now, every time everybody says pirates, I just go, arr. But
what's your favorite alphabet?
Arr. Letter of the alphabet. I get it.
Yeah. Let's go to my other brother, Darryl, calling in from Texas. Darryl, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes. First off, we have some, really dumb law here in Austin about the about bags, to where, like, if you go to the grocery store and you're checking out, you either have to buy reusable bags, because they can't give you disposable plastic bags to carry your groceries out in. And now there is a legislature from the Dallas area who's trying to make it illegal for cities to do that, but it probably won't happen until the next session, which would be 2 years from now. So
Right, because Texas, if I recall correctly, their legislature meets only once every 2 years?
That is correct. Now, they can meet sooner if there's an emergency session based on, certain needs, and the governor can call it based on what they need to do. I don't know all the laws behind that, but they've had called emergency sessions before over various issues.
So that plastic bag or reusable bag law there in Austin, I know that there are some cities in California that have similar things to where they just require that the business charge for the plastic bags. So is that an option there in Austin, or they just say you cannot use disposable bags?
Well, the thing is, the only time they can give you disposable bags is for like if I'm buying meat, and they can put it in the disposable bag for that for some strange reason. But they pretty much have to use non-disposable bags. And what they'll do is that all these companies are going to sue over it. Then they realize they're making a lot of money by the law being there, so they drop the lawsuit.
Great.
Which we hate this idea. Oh, we're making a lot of money off of people. Oh, never mind.
So the social good, I suppose, is to keep these plastic bags from filling up our landfills because they're not biodegradable.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you got a movie with a character which is a bag blowing around. That's Little American Beauty.
Also,
That's probably politically
at
incorrect to bring up that movie.
Laws that from the federal laws, and one of them, because my wife was from Uruguay, caught my attention. Said it made it a federal crime to import a fresh cow hump from Uruguay.
Well, can't
a
have
fresh
that.
cow what?
Kind of weird.
A cow hump?
Is that where hump day came from?
Are we talking like a Brahma? I guess there's
Sorry,
a
I couldn't
Uruguayan bull that's
Like
something like a Brahma.
I guess so. I mean, and then another one I thought was funny was like someone would have had to have done this for them to make this a law. It said make it a federal crime to smoke a cigarette in the same room where you keep explosives.
Yeah, that's definitely where one would think that somebody had to do that for a politician, or maybe it's just one of those things where the politicians were being a little forward thinking of, hey, somebody might decide to smoke a cigarette in that room full of explosives. We need to protect them from that.
Because government can keep us safe.
Darryl, any final thoughts?
Final thought would be that last one, explosive or smoking cigarette, would be criminal negligence. Actually, on that one.
Right.
Yeah. Most things, there's extra things that they can charge you with. Darryl, thank you for the call, because that then allows them to wind up charge stacking, and then Chris, I know we've charged you with 5 different crimes for this one action that you did. Now, if you go ahead and plead guilty to one of these, we'll drop the other 4.
Right.
And we'll go easy on you.
Right.
Otherwise, you're facing like 15 years in prison.
Right.
And you really don't want to go to jail for 15 years, Chris. So just plead guilty to this.
You'll be out in 6 months. You'll be out in a year. Right.
We'll ask the judge very nicely to suspend your sentence, and it's only a misdemeanor.
Unreal. So, want to hear another ridiculous law?
Let's get one more ridiculous and then go back to the phones.
I think this one applies to everyone anywhere if you happen to be in a national park. So, if you're in a national park, it is a federal crime to let your pet make a noise that scares the wildlife in a national park.
Who determines what? So,
read that again?
No, I fully understand all the words, but if your dog barks and it spooks a squirrel.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm going to go to the actual law. Allowing a pet to make noise that is unreasonable, considering location, time of day or night, impact on park users, other relevant factors, or that frightens wildlife by barking, howling, or making other noise.
So, yeah, if Jazzy the studio dog tried to go play with one of the squirrels because she likes trying to play with squirrels and the squirrels don't generally play with dogs, then Jazzy the studio dog would make me or Ian or whoever took Jazzy to the national park, we would be a felon?
Correct.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Let's go to the phones. Got someone calling themselves the Deputy of Virginia calling in. Go ahead with your thoughts.
That would be the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
You're going way too hard on my brother Ricky.
Oh.
Okay.
Is that your thought?
No. You need to apologize to brother Ricky and all of us who live in Commonwealth, you state elitist.
I'm not an elitist. Thank you for the call there. Deputy
Ricky.
That definitely was not Ricky. Don't know who it was.
Commonwealth of Virginia, though.
And thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are some ridiculous laws where you live? We'll tell you some more from the federal government. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
Fireplaces and wood stoves are wonderful to have and provide low-cost heating, but they've got their drawbacks too. One of them is the increased likelihood that your home will burn. My primary advice is to you is to never let fire into your home and to make sure that you have an extinguisher on every floor and the garage, and that everyone knows how to use it. But if you love your wood stove, don't want to give it up, make sure that you keep things away from it and have a professional clean it every year. The pro will make sure the chimney is properly functioning also. Make sure to dispose of your ashes outside too. I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your calls and thoughts welcome. We're talking about absolutely weird, strange, ridiculous federal regulations. Some of them we've gone over earlier. Federal crime to consult with a known pirate. Federal crime to harass a golfer in a national park in Washington, D.C. A federal crime to knowingly let your pigs enter a fenced-in area on public land where it might destroy grass. Got some more ridiculous federal laws, something about onions coming up here in just a second. But before we get back into those, governments around the world are trying to regulate Bitcoin, and you can find out all the news and happenings with Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies by going to news.bitcoin.com. One of the headlines right now: Bitcoin in Zimbabwe is more expensive than anywhere else in the world. Bitcoin in Zimbabwe at the time that they published this article was touching $13,500. In the U.S. right now, I think it's somewhere around, $7,600 for a Bitcoin?
Hit 8,000 today for the first time ever, and last I looked, it was $7,850 on my exchange. That's on GDAX. I'm sure it's going to be different on different exchanges.
Right. I tend to get my price from BitcoinAverage.com that averages all of the exchanges. But another headline from news.bitcoin.com: pre-mined initial fork offerings are the new and trendy way to fund crypto projects. Again, you can find all of that and more at news.bitcoin.com. Darryl, Heather, and Chris in studio tonight. Chris, let's jump back into some of these weird, strange federal regulations and whatnot from, it's the Crime a Day Twitter, but FreedomWorks went through and compiled 19 of the most ridiculous.
Yeah, and don't let that dissuade you from following Crime a Day on Twitter. Because
I decided to start following them after I learned of them. Again, it's at Crime a Day, the way you would expect it to be spelled.
Yeah, every day it is even more ridiculous. So
now I wonder if anybody is following them accidentally, thinking that they are following something about Crimea Day.
Very nice, Darryl.
Yeah, because it's spelled crime, a day, and there's no hyphens or underscores, so I could see somebody being like, I want to follow, the Crimea Day celebrations.
Well, so far, most of our crimes have been about people or animals or land or things like that. This is the things that we've been discussing. But this one goes to an inanimate object. U.S. Code makes it a federal crime to injure a government-owned lamp.
It's a major award, Chris. It is not a lamp. It's a major award.
Oh, my.
That's a Christmas Day reference for all of the people that have never seen that movie that's been out for, 30-some-odd years and airs for 24 consecutive hours on TBS every Christmas Day. I love that movie. And, Chris, you're going to shoot your eye out.
I hope not, because I don't have a BB gun. Mine would do more than shoot my eye out. So this one is application of District of Columbia laws to public buildings and grounds. And basically, it makes it a crime to destroy public property. But what's unusual about this particular law is that it does specify government-owned lamps.
Now, I wonder, and when was this regulation put on the books?
2002.
Okay, so that's not what I was thinking.
No, actually, there is historical things going back to 1892, I should say.
Okay, because my initial thought here was, I wonder if this came about from when lamps were used to illuminate the streets.
Yep. Person shall be fined under Title 18 or imprisoned for not more than 6 months or both if the person is guilty of disorderly and unlawful conduct in or about public buildings or public grounds, willfully injures the buildings or shrubs, so it's basically doing damage to, pulls down, impairs, or otherwise injures a fence, wall, or other enclosure, or injures any sink, culvert, pipe, hydrant, cistern, lamp, or bridge.
So the fencing thing there, and not the Olympic thing with the
sword
fencing,
fighting, right?
Swords. So when the federal government shut down a couple of years ago, and then the national parks went around and put up fencing where none previously existed.
Yes, they did.
If you knock that over, that's a federal crime.
Yeah. So
I want to walk on this sidewalk that has never been obstructed before by a fence. You put up a fence, and I knock over your little fence.
Yeah, so I remember during that shutdown, I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, and I was thoroughly disgusted by that action. So my girlfriend and I went down to Gettysburg National Battlefield, the park down there.
Which is basically the entire city of Gettysburg.
It pretty much is, but all these different roads were all blocked off. They had fences up. They had barricades all over the place. And how most people see the park is you drive through because it's huge.
Yes.
But you can get like a little cassette player. They put it in your car, and you can listen to it, and it'll guide you from stop to stop to see how the battle went. And it's really interesting. But we get down there, and there's all these people like stopped in front of 3 cones going, I guess we can't go anywhere now. So we basically went and moved cones and moved fences and moved barricades all day long. I wouldn't say all day long. About 3 o'clock, we finally got pulled over because we were driving on one of those roads that was closed, and they accused us of doing that.
Where there previously were no federal agents, they then had to place federal agents to make sure that you weren't going where they said you couldn't go, but
here
everything
was
shut down.
During the shutdown, it was illegal for those federal employees to be working because they were not essential personnel. So when I got pulled over, that was the first thing I threw back at him was, according to federal law, you can't be working today. Well, I know that, but I'm like, no.
So here's the real question. Why are there non-essential federal employees?
Exactly.
Let's go to Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, yes, we had the runoff on Tuesday. So
this is
it was all together.
This is your mayoral race?
Right, that's correct.
Okay. We've been waiting for an update. Thanks for calling in.
Well,
Go
the
ahead.
thing is, it's amazing that 95,000 people voted altogether, the first round, and in the runoff also. So that's very unusual.
Yep, and I actually heard you call in about this last night, and I pulled up, and the voter turnout was about 29%. For that municipal election. That's actually really good because we had a regularly scheduled city election here in Keene where we broadcast in New Hampshire, and there were polls running out of ballots, and we had 16% voter turnout. Sarah, thank you for the call and the update on Albuquerque's municipal elections. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we're talking about absolutely, utterly ridiculous federal regulations. Chris, thank you very much for finding this where I had never heard of the Crime a Day Twitter, and no, we're not reading all 1,698 tweets.
God, no.
From the Crime a Day Twitter feed, but FreedomWorks went through and pulled out some of what they're listing as the most ridiculous of the crimes that Crime a Day
What
posts.
was the one about pirates again?
You cannot consult with a pirate. That's against the...
Okay, so I want to know whose bumper sticker is on that dresser right there, or whatever that thing is.
Something about
says
pirate radio.
No, it says I'm a pirate. So I want to know who is the pirate here.
Right. And so we don't consult with them and get charged with a federal crime.
Hold on. I then read the definition of how they define pirate, and that does not necessarily qualify.
Well, you're going to have to argue that in court, Darryl, because there's a federal law and they could just charge you with it anyway.
That's a confession. It says I'm a pirate.
One of these is absolutely ridiculous that they posted just a couple days ago. It's a federal crime to receive out-of-state pudding with too much locust bean gum.
Oh, this can't be true. Man.
I don't know what locust bean gum is.
I did Google that. I can't remember it. It is...
Can we find out where that was passed?
This is a federal regulation.
So this was on like something that went through the Capitol.
Oh, no. Well, to be clear, there's laws and there's regulations. So when Congress gets together and the House and the Senate both approve a bill and they send it to the White House, then if the president signs it, it becomes law. But frequently what the laws have been we grant the all regulation of pudding to the Federal Food and Drug Administration.
Right.
And that's it. And that's all it says. So then the FDA bureaucrats can come up with whatever regulations they feel are appropriate to meet the spirit of that law.
And then there's also, and sometimes those things wind up getting listed in the U.S. Code if it's passed saying you have authority to
create
fill in
laws,
the blank.
Right.
Or the EPA or FDA, they can just wind up making a decision of, well, we believe we have the authority to do this. And then that goes, as I understand, in the Code of Federal Regulations, which is different from the U.S. Code.
But can still carry all the penalties.
It has the penalties,
right?
But it's not necessarily something that Congress authorized them to do.
But
they just took it upon themselves. And this out-of-state pudding is in both the U.S. Code and the Code of Federal Regulations.
Can you read that to me again?
Yes. 21. It's in 21 USC and CFR. Makes it a federal crime to receive out-of-state pudding with too much locust bean gum in it.
Oh my God! So it's okay to send it, you just can't receive it.
Why is locust bean and gum in the same sentence?
Apparently, that is a particular thing. Let's see here. Looking at the CFR, locust bean gum is primarily the macerated endosperm of the seed of the locust bean tree.
Yeah, basically it's used as, I'm going back to Wikipedia for this, my apologies to everyone, it's used as a thickening or a gelling agent
used in
foods.
Baked goods and baking mixes, beverages and beverage-based non-alcoholics, cheese, gelatins, puddings and fillings, jams and jellies, and all other food can have 0.5%. So jams and jellies and puddings and gelatins and fillings can have 0.75%. Beverages can have 0.25%, and baking mixes and baked goods can have 0.15%.
Okay, this stuff just drives me nuts, and for those of you in studio recognize when I start to rub my temples, it means I'm getting a governmental headache.
Yes.
This is such a waste of time and money. There are literally people in Washington, D.C. that your tax dollars are paying for that have had to sit down, probably have meetings, draft reports, circulate them, make changes, and then get it into the Federal Registry involving lots of other bureaucrats and federal employees.
Yes.
All to say that you cannot receive pudding that has an improper amount of locust bean gum in it as determined by the federal government.
So looking at
what a
the
waste.
looking at the federal code here.
Is this a regulation by other people? Like this technically wasn't a bill that like went before all the House or the Senate.
What
or
I just
anything like
read
that?
to you came from the Code of Federal Regulation, which is something that the Food and Drug Administration came up with. Never wound up going through Congress because this is just in the list of regulations. This is not something that Congress
I'd be willing,
actually
then
passed.
Congress might not even know that this even exists.
Probably not.
But there's also something in the U.S. Code about labeling, because they cite here on the crime a day, they cite both the U.S. Code and the Code of Federal Regulations. But even let's say that Congress doesn't know about it. Well, if my lawyer, as the Downsized DC ad says, if my lawyer represented me that way, they'd be disbarred.
Right, exactly.
Something in the U.S. Code that is linked, or not linked, but cited. It's illegal to forge, counterfeit, simulate, or falsely reproduce a label for items. What? What? Some of this just makes absolutely no sense.
Can I throw another one out here? Because,
throw one more out and then we'll go to the phones.
Yeah, no problem. U.S. Code and the federal regulations make it a federal crime to hunt doves and pigeons with a machine gun or, quote, a stupefying substance.
Why would you hunt a pigeon with a machine gun?
You ask that. I ask, whose job was it to come up with a regulation and evidently maybe a federal law here to say, no, we can't have people with machine guns hunting doves and pigeons?
There's probably some jerk that actually went out hunting pigeons with a machine gun. That's how stuff like this happens, is because there are
but if we
village
passed
idiots.
a law for every
Village idiots is what the reason we have
But
these.
can you imagine how much busier our bureaucrats would be if they actually tried to pass laws for every stupid thing that people do?
Oh my God, they do.
So here's a question. Is it a federal offense to shoot a dolphin that's inside the National Aquarium?
Do you have code there, or are you just asking?
No, I'm asking.
That's why
I'm
you
gonna
take
say
whoever.
yes.
Okay, so this is where we become proactive, right? This is where we look at these ridiculous laws, right? We find out who was in charge of the department that issues these regulations, and then we run on a campaign and use these as, like, you know, showcase them to the public when you're running on a platform. You do interviews and stuff like that. Like, look at this guy's laws or whatever. I'm running so that we don't have to deal with crap like this.
Whoever was the head of the FDA in 1977 needs to be removed from office because they passed this thing on the Caribbean.
This is like the proactive. Like, we could laugh about all this stuff, but like, are the majority of these being enforced? Probably not. But they still exist on the book for someone to use against you if they ever decide that they want to, you know, go after you
Check the
for
locust
crap or
bean
whatever.
gun in my pudding.
So we can sit here all day and talk about all of these crazy laws, but what's the solution, right? We need literally a step-by-step plan on how to fix it
I'll give you some ideas.
instead of just complaining.
Because I'm much more about solutions than laughing at laws.
Okay.
Shut down the FDA. Do away with the Food and Drug Administration.
So how do you plan on doing that?
Do away. You get someone elected as president who just says, we no longer need this executive department. And you can keep funding it, but I'm not going to make anybody show up for work.
Well, at least
that's the platform that Ron Paul had.
Your calls and
For example.
thoughts. Welcome. 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. Do we need the FDA? Why or why not? This is Free Talk Live.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The Crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the Crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the Crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the Crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the Crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Sick of hair loss, thinning hair, bald spots? Ever thought about hair restoration? It's a life-changing decision. Thankfully, the first step is incredibly easy and absolutely free because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable their permanent solution to hair loss really is. Get yours by texting EASY44 to 85850. You'll see for free just how great your hair could look. Plus, we'll also give you a free gift card when you text EASY44 to 85850. Join the men and women all over the country who have come to Bosley, the world's most experienced hair restoration expert, for their permanent solution to hair loss. If you've ever thought about getting your hair back, don't miss this incredible offer. We're giving away an invaluable information kit absolutely free, plus a gift card for $250 off to everyone who texts EASY44 to 85850. That's EASY44 to 85850.
Hewlett-Packard is known for their basic, no-frills computers, but that doesn't mean they can't keep up with the latest technology. In a press release yesterday, HP said, quote, "We are excited to begin offering that cloud thing that everyone is talking about. We definitely have the cloud on our computers, and it is better than anyone else's cloud." Earlier today, I sat down with HP spokesman Gary Klinman, who said the company couldn't wait to show people, quote, how they do their cloud stuff.
We are absolutely thrilled that now people with computers or phones, both will now be able to back things up to the cloud.
Klinman says it isn't surprising they're, quote, up on the cloud, considering they're on the cutting edge of all the latest tech trends. Are there any additional features?
Crowdsourcing is something we are having. Crowdsourcing 2.0. We have social sharing. We have 5G, 6G, really all the Gs. We have app. We have all of it in the computer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you know, there are holidays coming up, and maybe you're going to shop online. Well, how about shopping online and supporting Free Talk Live when you do so? Head on over to shop.freetalklive.com. There you'll find links to places like Newegg and Walmart, saveatpurse.com. There's also links for, I believe, Amazon UK, definitely not Amazon US. They broke up with us recently for basically explaining what an affiliate link winds up doing. They didn't like that. But once you go to shop.freetalklive.com, you can then just bookmark the final destination that you want to get to. And then you don't have to go back to shop.freetalklive.com to then click to the shopping site of your choice. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, first of all, so you did actually get an explanation as to why Amazon discontinued?
Yeah, they sent that in the breakup letter of you stated that when people shop on your affiliate link, it benefits you, and Amazon doesn't want you explaining what an affiliate link does.
Right.
They want you to just say, hey, use this link for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Here's an idea. Click here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first I heard you say that. Last thing I had heard from you guys was that they hadn't given any explanation whatsoever. Did they give you that explanation originally, or was that subsequent to the original cutoff?
I don't recall. It's what I heard when I first heard that they broke up.
Yeah, I think they did have to dig for a reply from them.
I see. Okay. Yeah, what I was calling about was based on something you were discussing earlier back talking about the U.S. Constitution and the when the country was created with the founding documents, the various debates on what they should put in there as far as language so that people didn't misconstrue it later regarding the Bill of Rights and such like that. And one of that ties into what I've been fighting is one of the things that was affected by that was the rights of parents. For instance, like prior to, there was a case called Troxel, Troxel, in 2000. Prior to that, the Supreme Court had ruled over and over and over again when cases got to them that it was parenting your own children was a fundamental right, like voting.
Right.
And then they came out with a decision that used language like the best interests of the children. In other words, the government can do whatever they think is best for the children,
and that decision. Would be right.
Yeah, exactly. And so then now we have things like, for instance, in Minnesota, a mother of an 11-year-old child was denied her own child's medical records without the child's consent. And things like you can't go if you go into a library and try to get library records of a child that's say older than 13, people have been denied their children's library records and stuff like that. And what happened to me was somebody made that wasn't even allegations, it was just insinuations, and they never even came. It was just a letter. Somebody wrote a letter to a judge, and that's all it took. The letter was actually hearsay, was not admissible evidence, and the people never came into court to stand behind their letter, even though I demanded that they come in, and I demanded actually a trial on the issues, and was never given that. But because of the so-called best interests of the children, the judge was legally able to do whatever she pleased, basically, just as long as she cited that it was best for the children, and that's what's happened to us based on those founding documents. It would have been better for us had they had the foresight to put in those founding documents that the federal government can do nothing that is not line item specifically authorized them to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be clear, those are referred to as enumerated powers. The only thing the Constitution allows the federal government to do are what are listed in the enumerated powers. And that's why that Ninth Amendment that says if you have rights that aren't listed anywhere in here, you retain them. And with the federal government supposedly not able to do anything outside of its enumerated powers, and with the Ninth Amendment saying you retain all rights and regardless, this should have worked better than it did.
Right, and one of the big problems is the aforementioned Supreme Court that has taken it upon themselves to say, but we get to decide the whats and the hows and the whos.
And they'll say things under the general welfare. Like I could see them using a general welfare look at this. And I haven't read the full opinion. The case is Troxel versus Granville, and I'm sure that's the one you're referring to.
Right. Yeah.
But oftentimes, they'll stretch the common clauses, things that say things like for the common
Interstate
defense.
commerce.
Interstate commerce is a good one.
General welfare.
General
necessary
welfare.
and proper.
Right. So those all had specific meanings. They weren't vague in 1787, 1788.
Right.
They understood what they meant by them, and it wasn't general welfare of anybody I can apply a federal law to. It was general welfare of the country. And it was, and again, the courts have sort of bastardized these ideas over the years.
Right. And I'm looking the Fourth Amendment, and David, thank you for the call. The Fourth Amendment seems to also get bastardized a lot to where a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm protected from unreasonable searches. Well, that's technically part of it. But what it says here is unreasonable searches and seizures without a warrant, and no warrant shall be issued except blah-de-da-da-da.
Right. So forget about everything you're hearing
So
about
it's not just unreasonable searches, it's unreasonable searches without a warrant.
Right. So technically the government still can unreasonably search you. They just have to have a warrant signed by a judge to do so.
Correct.
Right.
And, that sort of ties into a lot of these weird regulations and federal laws that we're talking about. One more, and there's something about a grocery store chain out of Germany that we've got a location here in Keene, New Hampshire. Something interesting to where they actually had to do a recall of a nut-based product. Another thing here from the Crime a Day Twitter. The U.S. Code and Code of Federal Regulations makes it a crime to sell onion rings resembling normal onion rings, but made from diced onions without saying they are made from diced onions.
Well, that is protecting the people of this great country. In what way, I have no idea. Was someone defrauded because they bought onion rings that were truly made of diced onions and not whole onions?
I don't know. But I don't understand why people would eat onion rings, because onions are just absolutely disgusting anyway.
I don't understand why anyone would sit around going, we need to have a law for this.
Yeah. And speaking of things that need laws for, apparently we need laws to inform people that peanut packets contain nuts. Now, to be fair here, and I did read the article, the Clancy's barbecue flavor coated peanuts also contained cashews.
So the nuts contained nuts.
Right, but two different types of nut.
Sure. But what they didn't spell out was that the entire container contained nuts.
I thought it was just, and I read the article several times, and I thought it was just that the container did not mention the cashews.
Cashew nuts. So we'll read this real quickly. A supermarket has recalled a brand, and before anybody panics and goes looking
this is
through
also in
this happened in the UK.
UK.
Yep. A supermarket has recalled a brand
they're nuts, so.
They are nuts, aren't they? A supermarket has recalled a brand of nuts from its shelves because the package does not contain a warning about nuts. Aldi recalled its Clancy's barbecue flavor coated peanuts because they contain cashew nuts, which did not warn customers about on the label. That means the product is, quote, a possible health risk, unquote, for anyone with an allergy to nuts, the Food Standards Agency says. That's their version of the FDA.
Right.
I'm like, this is a bag of nuts, and there's nuts in it, and that could cause a possible health risk if you're allergic. I get it.
But here's the thing, and they mentioned this down in the article a little bit. Someone can be allergic to tree nuts without being allergic to legumes.
Correct.
So I understand if this were a voluntary recall to where Aldi said, hey, wait a second, we goofed up here. But, yeah, it just seems rather strange. You didn't say that your package of nuts contains nuts other than peanuts.
Right.
Which are also nuts. And speaking of nuts, we're out of time for tonight, but always online at freetalklive.com. Isn't that nuts?
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the
problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com.